Greetings from Nepal, dear Europe and UK. It's been 500 years. From childhood, from our education system, going to British councils, studying about you, the William Shakespeare, the Bertrand Russell. So we saw the global world saw you as one of the Western world, like Western civilization. So all those 500 years, we have seen the revolution, the industrial revolution, the socialist movement, and everything. What happened now? Where are you now? You need to be, you will be asked. Question will be raised to you. Now, whole we global citizen are in the same line. There is nothing bigger or smaller or something like that. So, do European and UK entertain questions? Have to. Now, every question will be raised towards you. So, good thing about you. First, let us go for some good thing about you in recent times. The Paris Agreement in climate change, that was one of the wonderful things that you took. Second was the Sustainable Development Goal Initiative. Now also globally, your nations, the European nations are ranked one of the best place to be lived in terms of sustainable development goal and all. Even you are still promoting the climate change issues and all. So you have been known for the world of the football, world of the fashion, world of the some of the technologies, some of the agriculture, even so many things that you are very good at. Now something bad about you. Actually, when you can see that Ukraine and Russia war. So we saw what happened in Oval Office, White House. Actually, there is lots of preparation before the meeting with the US President. Even UK Premier, the French Premier were there, all there also. So basically, it was the meeting was being called so that Ukraine can sign rare mineral deals with USA. And I have been saying in my previous videos also, it was more of the scripted one. The Ukraine president right now is also asking, the UK premier is asking the security guarantee. That's the major point. No? When the US was asking, okay, let's first sign the rare material deal, then next we'll see about the security guarantee. But till now, the representative of Ukraine, first question is security guarantee. Now, talking about the security guarantee and seeing the definition in dictionary, in internet, Google, and all, so there are different variety of definitions going on. But one of the main security guarantee that the premier of Ukraine right now is asking is to be the part of the NATO. So your Article 5 says when somebody attacks, then all the NATO will be there. So here also all the NATO means being in the war for the longer time and being having the all the equipment and technology for the war economy, USA has to be there. So in that case also, why USA is restricting the entry of Ukraine in the NATO is because USA has to come in front if Ukraine is allowed in the NATO. Nowadays, talking that USA can be out of the NATO too. So one security guarantee is there. Another security guarantee is always the UN Security Council, which USA has vetoed against also recently. And for the Soviet nation, there are so many clauses in UN Security Council and UN. And there are something that I mentioned in my earlier videos on the voices and choices of the people. So that area, the eastern part of the Ukraine, where there are more alignment to the Russian culture. So those parts, voices and choices has to be heard very effectively. So what are you going to provide as a security? There are only two nations, UK and France, which has the nuclear capacity. But if you see the nuclear capacity of the USA, Russia, China, very less nuclear capacity of UK and France is there. So can that be your security guarantee for them? I doubt. And recently, another good thing that when the humiliation from the USA, you welcome the US, the Ukrainian premier, even the Prince Charles, Your Highness Prince Charles also met him. So you have a narrative now. UK has come back to its own to power, but for how long? You must be remembering when this thing was happening in Czechoslovakia in 1938. Other actors are driving in their different way. So when you're calling all European, and even Canada was there because Prince Charles, the king, the Canada is the king is also of the Canada also. He was there. He's a lucky guy. Actually, he was not getting the much of the people's support, but due to Trump now is it might come next time also. So he will be there everywhere, no, in the Canada premier. So what you are going to do when you are thinking about a narrative by bringing all the now Europe also need to be divided, no? UK, Europe, the Western Europe, the Eastern Europe, the Southern Europe. So in that alliance also there are so many voices and choices of the people going around. So it's a very difficult situation there, UK and Europe. So you are coming, and let me tell you why all this drama is going on. This is one of the factor that UK and Europe were so much disturbed when there was a meeting when there was a meeting between USA and Russia in Saudi Arabia. That time you people felt you have been completely bypassed. Nobody is asking about you, even Ukraine. So you need to bounce back. The resilience, you want to be resilient, you want to bounce back. So this all what is happening past 15 days to 20 days is the one bounce back. Second, the vice president of USA took your class at your location. And also just recently talked about how can you go in the war when nobody has gone war from the 40 years. So UK was very angry, and even like you work with US in Iraq, Afghanistan, and even right now in Yemen also, Middle East too. So things are getting different for you, like Ukraine. I'm telling you, the first security guarantee was the Budapest Convention uh, when the nuclear power of Ukraine was given back to Russia, Soviet Union at the time. So that time there was something on Budapest Convention that was the security guarantee. Second, the UN Charter that had a security guarantee. But when Trump comes, he just destroys all the history. The, but the good point about Trump, no, it's a Dr. Jukad had Mr. Right. The Trump has both the persona. The good point about the Trump administration is they say what they are going to do, so that we all the global citizens are very clear about that. The bad thing about the UK and Europe is they don't say what is the inside story that's going on. So one thing, one inside story that I found, because you want to be in that negotiation table, because USA and Russia, when they met for first time, just to say what they are feeling, it was because both the Russia and USA are saying that meeting was a very primary meeting. But you people, the well-known media you have, who just make so much of propaganda, so that meeting was made of so much of the propaganda and all. So how you are going to provide the security guarantee for the Ukraine? And in your all the words, in your all the actions, USA is there. Now you are saying we talk like France, and you are coming together with the Ukraine so that a proposal can be submitted to USA. There also USA is there. Let me tell you about how much I know about USA, because I have a earlier post on that also. USA listens only to the, or has an interest only on three nations right now. One is Israel. That is, any Middle East policy, we say that USA doesn't have any foreign policy on Middle East. It's Israel. They just do it. They say, okay, we are backing you up. Second nation is Saudi Arabia. Money, fund. So they listen somewhat, and they are working together with the Saudi Arabia. Third is Taiwan. So these are the three nations that the USA will sit back. Oh, I have to listen something. I have to work out something. Or these are the guys who are our real alliance. So it's not NATO, it's not European and all. So these three are the major Trump. It's Trump factor on that. So now you how much now you have to say you have to say the inside story that you know that USA is not backing you up. You have to say directly. Please be direct. Nothing will go wrong, but you will be more equipped, more well versed with the upcoming world. Now the sad thing, I really want to know the vice president and the president of USA took your class and increase your budget, the defense budget, from 2.3 to 3, or they ask for 5%. That's a very exaggeration. Trump always exaggerates a lot. So from where you are getting that fund? And that fund, where it goes? Because from last decade, last 30 years, 20 years, 40 years, 50 years, you have been investing on some of the soft skills. You are not that much on war economy. Your technology, the war technology, we have a very limited one. You have some of the very sophisticated navy, sophisticated air defense system, but in that quantity the USA has. So why USA is saying you to increase your defense budget? Because the Trump works in multidisciplinary revenue for the USA. So one of the revenue will always be the war economy. So he is going to sell you technology, you might have equipment, and your factory and all, which is not that much directed to you make a ship or you make some equipment and all, but your factory are not that much go for the war equipment and war machinery. So you have those increasing the investment on your defense budget, the money goes to USA. That's why USA always wants you to have a defense budget. Now, where the money comes from? So you always say that the most easier money is the freezing the Russian business in Europe. But how much is that? Now you have taken the issues of the climate change, net zero, uh, for and all. So now the money for these all issues like Paris Agreement, climate financing, renewable energy, then there was a little bit kind of a socialist model on democracy and agriculture and all is going to be cut off. So like US said, now UK aid, European aid, BMJ, German and all have to reduce the amount that is being given. So what to do? So I have to suggest what can be done. So there is a, it came from your, because I am very fond of you, because my childhood was built uh, going through the literatures of the European or top level philosophers. So I really admire your philosophy. You have been called, like you have been still like a nation like Ivory Coast and all. Still, those effects are there where you, like Spain, Portugal, France, UK. We are all over the world. Like 60, 70 years back, we have been there everywhere, and those kind of negative feeling are still with you, uh, to almost all the people. Like even in India, also even in Africa, also. So that mentality you have to take out. Now you are not like what you were in 50 years or 100 years or 200 years back. You are like us. You are like a common world. That there is one concept, one approach that is called heartland approach. So it's about Europe, it's about Russia, it's about Africa, it's about Asia, that connected by the land, all the land masses. So you have to prove yourself as a leader. Forget what you have achieved previously, or and now focus on what you can achieve right now. So you have to, again, I don't know why so much of anti-Russia point of view on the whole EU and Europe. Why you are so afraid of Russia? The US, the Trump government now works with Russia, works with China. Even he might be planning to work with North Korea. Even he might have a plan to work with Iran and everything, because he's a business person. He sees everything on economical point of view. But you, with your culture, that all the culture that you have inherited, you always go for something like a value, something based on a democracy, something based on, and you are very good at that, because there is a cooperative movement in Europe. There are so many good movements still going on. But you need to see Russia also in a different point of view. If I can rightly remember, when USSR just fragmented into different nations, that time you were very happy. So that was the end of the Cold War. But this is the Cold War version 2 now. The Russia is feeling the same. There has been some understanding in Budapest Manifesto. But Russia is also not feeling secure. It's a two-way, like Europe is not feeling secure. The Baltic nation, all those being connected with the Russia, those are not feeling secure, and Russia is not feeling secure. So when both are not feeling secure, why not UK and Europe at least have one meeting with the Russia, talk to them, and increase the approach of heartland diplomacy? Why didn't you talk to Russia? Why didn't you talk to Africa? Why didn't you talk to China? Why didn't you talk to India? The Ukraine-Russia issue is not only the only concentrate on that. It has to have a voices from all over the world. So you need to go for those who have been angry with you. There are lots of nations who have been very angry with you. We Nepali, we Nepali really like the UK people. When Your Highness Duke and Duchess was there, our Prime Minister told the KP Oli Sharma Oli, told that Nepalese people will be happy when your Duke and Duchess come. So I agreed. My company also met with your Duke and Duchess, where we sharing about what we are working on turmeric. So UK connection is very good in Nepal. So unlike Nepal, there might be India, there might be China, there might be Japan, there might be Africa and all. So first you need to have that heartland policy where you are still being known for what you did earlier. So let's not go that far earlier, because people change, life change, everything changes. So one thing is that, why don't you do that? So at least a dialogue, a starting of a dialogue, knowing each other. I know your approach, the Europe and Russia, Europe and UK approach, the Russia will differ 99.9%. I agree. But it will land 0.1% or 0.001%. What is that? where you can at least start a discussion again. I know the French premier had a meeting with one side, Russia and Ukraine, and they interacted to bring together. Nothing happened. So one is that. Second is, don't spend on your defense budget. You can't do it. It takes a huge time. This war economy, not like China is developing because it's not in the war, but it has the capacity. Russia, always. Iran, always. USA, they have to. And this modern war technology has changed from drone, from AI and all. So why US wants you to increase your defense budget is so that you can't be a big player on AI, the modern world. So that's what they want. The US wants to be a main player on that. China already there, another nation already there. So UK and Europe, please try to understand the whole geopolitics that's going on, and don't be a propagandist. Don't try to have a narrative so that it might look good right now, but we Nepali, we Asian really want Europe because we want a multipolar world. The Trump, no, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like, is good to some extent, is more evil to the most of the extent. So I don't know. You don't trust Russia at all. So how can you trust USA, which right now for the coming 3 or 4 years is not doesn't do anything what is has been done in the past. Don't go for history. That Trump administration won't do anything for 1 year or 2 year or 3 year also. So how can you trust Trump also? I know internally, like you might be feeling like now Europe need to come, Europe and UK need to come together. So I'm more worried that we as a global citizen need you in power because we are very well connected and we want a multipolar world where China is there, where Russia is there, where USA is there, where Africa, the growing Africa is there, Brazil is there, India is there. It will be very good for everybody, when the world goes multipolar. So, USA, the way you feel the USA, I don't know. You might have a plan B or plan C. That's not clear to us. But the way you are taking to USA really need to be relooked. So I want to reiterate, uh, being a historical places for us from last 500 years. There's so much of innovation, so much of a new thing to learn from Europe and UK always. So in the present world, number one, go for the multipolar world. Even there might be so many different things, so many non-aligned things with you and other people. At least start talking with Russia. Number two, talk with all the people around, all the world around. Keep your views. You have been doing good. You are doing very fine. Third, the agenda. Understand the agenda of the USA. What they really want, especially the UK, because the UK feel like a very brotherly relation with the USA. That might not work right now. It's a very difficult situation. That might have worked with the Biden, or that might have to work with the Clinton and Obama and all. But with the Trump, it will be very difficult, dear UK, because you have been so much good to Nepal right now also. I'll have another video regarding the UK in Nepal that I'll be doing, because recently there was a Nepal UK Nepal business forum there. So I have something to tell about Nepal and UK relation on that also. So we'll be talking about that. So in the meantime, UK and Europe, be realistic. Try and communicate to the whole world that what really you want to do, what do you really want to be. because we have seen that your action is showing the very inferiority complex. We don't want UK and Europe to be inferior in the global world. No, when I see the Trump shouting at Ukraine premier, it was more shouting to the Europe and UK. That is what I felt, because the whole thing, no, US also felt was a kind of a scripted thing that he has been sent by the UK, Europe to talk with the Trump in the similar direction. So it's a very difficult situation. So I made this video. So that's my perspective. So all the best in coming times. I'm looking forward for you to be UK and Europe to be a major forces in the global world. You are needed. You are needed because you have a. I told you have a very good approaches in some of the approaches, but you are very bad on something and almost very sad on not telling what you really want to achieve. So that's all for now. Thank you so much.